Well, hello, good evening, and welcome to the program. This is Daily Politics on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Tonight on the program, after 6 months under emergency rule and a sole administrator, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has lifted the emergency rules in Rivers, reinstating democratic governance in the oil-rich state. The crisis stemmed from the bitter feud between Governor Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, who saw impeachment threats from a Wike-backed state assembly. On Daily Politics tonight, we have a chat with someone from Rivers State who understands the dynamics of the politics, Honorable Daibokiabo Warmate, to unpack the impact and the intrigues, as well as the significance of Rivers' return to democratic rule. Honorable Warmate, thank you so much for stopping by again. Good to see you this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Right, I don't know whether it's fair to say congratulations are in order, but as a Rivers man yourself, how do you take in this development, given what the president said via a statement?
Well, I want to say that we're happy. We are very glad that democracy has been restored back in Rivers State. And not just that democracy has been restored back, peace has also been restored in Rivers State. And that is one thing that has given the whole Rivers people across party line or party affiliation joy, today as we speak.
Right, and in talking about what this actually means for the state, you listen to the take of the president on issues around normalcy, issues around delivering the dividends of democracy. What are some of your key takeaways about the picture that the president is painting, that the evidence suggests that stability, normalcy, law and order has returned to Rivers State and there will be no need for emergency rule anymore?
No, you see, from the time the president declared the state of emergency and asked the both warring faction to excuse, the nation and go and rest, and appointed a sole administrator. At that point, after a while, we begin to see that people have taken their rest and begin to reason that there is no need for any political tension. All that is needed is for peace. And behind the camera, they started discussing, and after that, they went to the president and told him, we've agreed to allow peace to reign in Rivers State. And the president said, okay, if that is the case, then there is no need for the state of emergency to continue, because that is the premise with which it declared the state of emergency. So since that threat is no longer in existence, there is no need for it. And that's why I believe the president kept his word by putting an end to the state of emergency today.
Paint a picture of what Rivers State has been like over the past 6 months, because this is a situation the state has never imagined it will be in. I mean, Rivers has always been politically charged, to say the least, but this was the worst case scenario we've seen since the return of democracy.
Yes, it's the first time we are experiencing such a thing, and it is because of peace that it was welcomed, not because the people really appreciate the fact that a state of emergency has been declared, that the governor and the state assembly members have been asked to step aside, but because of the fact that peace has, is expedient for development to be driven down to the grassroots. So Rivers people accepted that peace because, believe it or not, there was palpable tension, political tension in the state. And the president saw that and declared the state of emergency. And today, in the past 6 months, you see that tension has doused down. There is no political tension. There is no acrimony, as it were, before the state of emergency was declared. So we are happy to see that it has come to an end, the state of emergency. In as much as we, at the end, we did not appreciate some of the activities of the sole administrator, which some of us feel he has gone beyond his scope of work given to him by Mr. President.
Right. We get to talk about retired Vice Admiral Ibas, where he believes that his legacy is quite solid. We'll talk about that, and of course the perception in Rivers State among stakeholders about his performance, what he's been able to do, or whether his administration of the state over the past 6 months has been a net positive for the oil-rich state. But let's take another look at the president's, some of the president's takeaways, or some of the standout statements from that press release released earlier from the presidency, or by the presidency. Part of the statement reads, "It therefore gives me great pleasure to declare that the emergency in Rivers State of Nigeria shall end with effect, I beg your pardon, from midnight today. The Governor, His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, the Deputy Governor, Her Excellency Ngozi Maudu, and members of the Rivers House of Assembly and Speaker Martins Amehule will resume work in their offices from September 18, 2025. Another part reads, "I'm not unaware that there were a few voices of dissent against the proclamation, which led to their instituting over 40 cases in the courts in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Yenagoa to invalidate the declaration. That is the way it should be in a democratic setting. Some cases are still pending in the courts as of today." Well, let's take a look at the last part, where the president said in that statement, "As a stakeholder in democratic governance, I believe that the need for harmonious existence and relationship between the executive and the legislature is key to a successful government, whether at the state or national level. The people who voted us into power expect to reap the fruits of democracy." Well, Comrade Daibokiabo, there is a lot to unpack there. But let's start off with the first statement, where the president is talking about, there's enough evidence to suggest that things are stable now and we can go back to normal. His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara is going to resume office, as well as the Deputy Governor and the State House of Assembly. How do you explain it from the perspective of those who express concern about that failed peace deal that the president negotiated in the first place when this war was at its inception? Are there any guarantees that this political infighting has finally come to an end?
Yes, I would say so, because you see, the governor came to the realization that the people that were fanning the ambience of war do not have the capacity to sustain that war. At a point, he came to realize it and went back to his family, his political family. Like it or not, his political family is the GDI. GDI is headed by Wike, the FCT minister. So he realized that no, the people that were advising him, some of them contested with him in the primaries. Some of them even in the general election. So how will such people give you advice to make sure that you have peace with your leader? And one thing also, many people profited from that crisis. So they don't want it to stop. But good thing, the governor realized that and said, no, I'll go back to my leader. I'll discuss with him. Anybody can wrong anybody. Even a father and a child do have quarrel, and they settle it. So that is the way we see it. And today they've come back, and he has come back to his family. And I can tell you he's very much welcome. It's a family that he has been with for a long time. So he's welcome. And we are happy that he has disappointed those that are advising him otherwise. Because the governor will not on his own want to do what we saw happen in Rivers State.
Well, some have always described politics as a zero-sum game. I mean, there are absolute winners and absolute losers. And if we have to situate this conversation in that manner, who is the biggest winner here and who are the losers in your view?
Well, the biggest losers in my view are those that have been fanning the ambience of trouble. The crisis merchants are the biggest losers. I mean,
aren't there people doing that on both sides?
No. There are people doing that. That's what I'm saying. Right. But when you talk about the governor and the FCT minister and the assembly members, there is no loser. There is no winner. Because it's a one family issue. There is quarrel, and the quarrel has been resolved.
Some say the Wike camp won.
No. It's not Wike camp won. Is him not a Wike camp person? He just, let me use the word, he just rebelled. He just rebelled. That doesn't mean we can member.
Up until the battle.
Yes, but until then, he was a camp member. And that has not, he has not said no. Even when he tried to do that, when they advised him to do that, he saw at the end that that is not the right path to follow. And he retraced his step. So it's not, the governor did not lose, the FCT minister did not lose, the assembly members did not lose. At least that made them to realize that, see, appreciate somebody. See, you can hate Wike, you can love him. But one thing you cannot take away from him, the sacrifice he made in bringing Semi to power. That you can't take it away from him. And most of them that are advising the governor against him know about it. And that's why they are doing that. But my joy is that today we have peace. Today the governor have realized that whatever it is, this man has contributed immensely to my emergence as governor of Rivers State, and I should respect him as such. And I came from a political family. Everybody have a political family. Let me go back to my political family and reconcile. And that was what the governor has done.
And just taking another look at that statement by the president, where he acknowledges that, listen, not everybody was particularly happy about the declaration of a state of emergency. He acknowledged that there are instituted cases in Nigerian courts today that are still not yet determined by the courts in Yenagoa, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja. At the Supreme Court also, there's a case that has not even been heard over the last 6 months, I beg your pardon. Let's talk about that and what that says about this particular situation. I mean, you would say it's been overtaken by events, but what in your view does this say about the impact of our judiciary on such a very sensitive matter, that these cases have not been determined when they were instituted back in March to the expiration date of the emergency rule, which I suppose now in hindsight might not necessarily have any sort of judicial impact? Yes,
I want to say that the president is very correct to have said that a lot of people were not happy about it. I'm one of them. Even the FCT minister said it. He's not happy about it, that he wasn't part of it. But the president has spoken, he's the father of the nation, and he has spoken, and so be it. So a lot of people were not happy. We were not happy. As a person, as a Rivers person, I'm not happy. As a PDP member, I'm not happy that such a thing happened. But having said that, now you talk about the judiciary. Now that is where we have issue also. You see, issues like this taken to the court, moreover the one that was taken to the Supreme Court, I cannot tell why the Supreme Court did not sit over it. I cannot come here and tell you I know this or that. So I cannot blame them, so to speak, because I don't know what is on their table. But I believe that it would have been given preferential treatment, considering its political implication, not just to Rivers State, to the Nigerian Constitution and even our democracy. Because we've been having this back and forth if president has the right to suspend an elected governor. If president has that right, the Supreme Court would have addressed that issue by their pronouncement, just like they did in the case of the same Rivers State when the governor conducted local government election, and even went as far as saying that as long as they are consigned, there is no governance in Rivers State, which is one of the premises with which the president declared state of emergency in Rivers State, and which is one of the reasons that informed the conducting of local government election before the expiration of the state of declaration of the state of emergency. So it's something that we cannot tell. But thank God, democracy has been restored. Because just like you rightly said, now sitting over such case is medicine after death.
Yeah. And in talking about those litigations, what in your view is the best case scenario here, especially ones instituted by people in support of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, for instance? Do you want these issues to be withdrawn to at least let sleeping dogs lie? Because that is the expectation reading from the president's statement.
No, that should be the expectation. And that is what already we have peace. I know the aspect other people think, what about situation like this comes up in the future? Then I want to put the responsibility on the National Assembly. The National Assembly has done a lot of amendment. I was going through the Constitution, I saw different amendment, even the one that talks about 137, where if you complete the tenure of your principal, you cannot go more than 1 term. The National Assembly can address that issue in the Constitution, and make it expressly clear that the president, in declaring a state of emergency, does not have the powers to suspend an elected official, even at the local government level. They should make that clear. We will not need to go and overburden the Supreme Court that has already been overburdened with cases.
Yeah. And let's talk about the administration of retired Vice Admiral Ibas. He says that he's leaving behind a legacy of transparency, discipline and reform. And of course, he believes that he has every right to think that his job was one that was well done. What do you think about it as a Rivers man?
Well, I feel that the president should be disappointed in him. We are disappointed in him. And that is because he shouldn't give credit to himself for what he did not do. The peace that came to Rivers State was as a result of the president's intervention. When he appointed Ibas came to Rivers State. How many stakeholders did they meet? After that, he was busy doing, what is it called, worker staff verification. For crying out loud, you came for peace mission. You left that, going to do civil service verification this, civil service verification that, and so on. That is not what is expected of you. So he shouldn't give himself credit. He doesn't deserve it. That is the truth. So his legacy doesn't have any legacy, positive legacy in Rivers State.
Part of what he said was that, you know, he made this by explaining that the combined implementation of IPSAS, I beg your pardon, which had to do with revenue, accountability, and the financing of the state. He did say, and I quote, that though his time was short, the legacy he's leaving behind is one of courage, discipline, and reform. And he says history will judge him fairly because of what he has done. He's also said that the reforms that he's introduced over the last 6 months is ushering transparency, accountability, and efficiency. He says every transaction will be traceable, every payment verifiable, and every process auditable in real time. Some would say that is something worth celebrating, especially considering the scenario that he found himself in.
No, you see, he should not have said that. Let them probe him first and let the report come out. At that point, you can say if we should commend him or not.
You think there's a need to probe?
Yes, there's a need. See what happened today in Rivers State. Your aides, security personnel, to show how...
Some would say that's just shenanigans of some people who are trying to send a message, probably. That
no, these are your aides. These are your aides, not outsiders. We have to set
security personnel, not necessarily aides.
No security personnel.
Right. Of the government house.
Of the government house.
Right.
Are saying that you did not pay them their allowances for 6 months. For crying out loud. What makes you a transparent leader? People protested to Port Harcourt government house today. It should tell us how. In fact, before this security personnel came up to say that, we've been hearing rumors, unconfirmed. It has been alleged how he has been, siphoning Rivers money. He's coming to Abuja to lobby for the state of emergency to be extended and so on and so forth. We've been hearing all that, but we didn't take it serious. But when the security personnel today in government has said and started saying things, people were amazed. And he cannot come and claim that he has done anything for Rivers. If anything is done in Rivers, he's the president. Ibas does not deserve any commendation. Look at what concerns Ibas with local government staff verification. What concerns Ibas with civil service verification. What concerns Ibas with increasing Rivers State budget from 1.1 trillion to 1.8 trillion. When you know that you only have 6 months.
I mean, given that he is the proxy...
What project has he embarked on? You came there for peace. Focus on peace.
Yeah, but of course you also reckon that the state needs administration, right? You
have administration. Already the budget has been prepared. But it wasn't presented to the legal...
Illegally passed according to the Supreme Court. So there was no budget?
No, there was no budget.
Right.
But let me tell you, there was no budget because... the budget was presented to the wrong assembly members. That was why there was no budget. I'm coming. But there is a document that you can present that has already been prepared down. It's just to present it. What do you add this thing to make 1.8 billion? You know that you are spending 6 months. You are there to not to develop, do anything, to ensure that there is peace. So democracy will come back. The next you are doing this, you are doing that. No, for crying out, in my personal opinion, it's a total failure. Ibas is a total failure. And Rivers people are not happy.
Given that he's working under the directive of the federal government, wouldn't it be proper for you to situate your frustration with the person or the institution that actually sent him to Rivers State?
No, for crying out loud, the president spelled his this thing out. You are coming there for peace. And the second thing we know the president made clear is that
to restore law and order and to guarantee security.
Yes. Right? So what concerns you? Local government verification, staff verification, civil service staff verification. That is not what the president sent you there to do. The president wants you to call the both warring faction, appeal to them that there is need for peace. In fact, I was told by someone that the president had to dent his democratic credentials to ensure that he bring peace in Rivers State by declaring state of emergency. And you came there, what you're interested in is staff, is this, is that, not the primary purpose why you are there to ensure that there is peace in Rivers State, to ensure that the warring political factions ensure that there is peace. The peace in Rivers State today, I repeat, is not by any means the effort of Ibas.
But the premise of the declaration of a state of emergency was one hinged on economic collapse, one that affects the lifeline, the economic lifeline of Nigeria. The president did mention attacks on pipeline, for instance. And we do know, you take a look at the antecedents, the track record of retired Vice Admiral Ibas, right? He's a military man, a Navy, right? Why do you think he's going to Rivers was to create a political solution? I mean, he doesn't have the political tools to negotiate peace. So why hinging your argument on the need for him to reconcile political warring factions?
You know, at his level as a former naval chief, he doesn't need any other tool because he has gone through trainings, he has gone through NIPS, so he is equipped to ensure that there is peace. And I believe he must have gone on 1 or 2 peacekeeping mission. So I believe that he has that background. But when he gets there, I don't know if he was overwhelmed, and the next thing, it was diverting from the primary purpose of being there. So he has the tools.
Well, there were no attacks on the pipeline, so I would say that he's ticked some boxes.
See,
right?
Before he came, there was threat, not attack on pipelines. When did you hear attack on pipeline lacks? Even before he came. But there is a palpable political tension that might snowball into, vandalization of pipeline. And the president, in his wisdom, felt he should forestall that. And that was why he, declared the state of emergency. And the both parties behind the scene were talked to. So it's not it's not his credit. Because what we expected was that he will focus on issues that will bring about peace, going on sensitization program across the various local government, talking to the people why there is Rivers State need to be peaceful in the interest of Rivers people and Nigeria, but rather you are going to civil service, you are going for crying out loud, and see what happened today. You listen to the tape, you hear they are telling he's carrying billions and
it's just a handful of people.
It's a handful of people.
They do not represent the entire population of Rivers State.
Do you need to, the entire Rivers people to speak? They are just revealing. They are like, what do they call them, whistleblowers. You see, if you listen to the tape, you hear them saying, I'm not sure
payment of allowances qualifies as an overall KPI of an administrator whose main responsibility was to restore law and order.
Law and order. And one of the reasons why they said it should be there, one of the areas you would restore law and order is to make sure that they pay civil servants their salary. Because recall,
have civil servants not been paid?
No, that is why it was declared. That's why he was appointed, rather, because the Supreme Court said there is no governance in Rivers State. So that means that was the premise with which they stopped the allocation to Rivers State. So that is what informed one of the reasons why the president said, okay, let me declare state of emergency, not to allow the civil servant to suffer and even the local government staffs. And if that is the case, are the police personnel or security personnel that raise the alarm in government house, are they not staffs of the government house? Or personnel attached to the government house? They are deserve their allowances. So why did you keep it for 6 months? These are people that are sacrificing their life for you in the government house.
Is this a popular opinion? The one you're expressing about this perceived underperformance of the outgoing sole administrator?
I'm telling you, go and do your this thing very well. I'm from Rivers State. I've been there under his administration. I've seen it's a popular opinion that he is a failure.
All right. And would it be then something that the Rivers people would look forward to if there is a probe of his 6 months as the sole administrator of the state?
Yes. Yes. Because we've heard a lot of rumors. We are looking forward to that. Except the governor will not do that or the president will not do that. If not, it should be probed. Because we heard rumor, we heard it on the listing. Security personnel will not just come out to say, billions have been moving. They know. And before now, we've been hearing rumors of how even the sole administration will come to Abuja lobby to make sure that they send this thing, declaration.
As you said, rumors. And
yes, it was alleged.
There's no point discussing rumors.
No. It was alleged, and that's why we did not mention it all this while. But with this statement, it has gone further to, to sort of confirm the fact that something was going behind the scene. And if you are sent there to do this, why not focus on that?
Right. Okay. Let's segue then and talk about what this return to democratic rule or governance in Rivers State actually means for the people of the state. Judging from what has happened over the last 6 months, how disappointed a lot of people were on both sides about how things turned out. What, in your view, is the immediate course of action for Governor Fubara, the Martins Amehule-led State Assembly, especially in uniting the state? Because we've seen the division in public, across ethnic lines, across political lines. How does Rivers State move forward together as a state, beginning tomorrow?
Yeah, I will say that the governor should first of all, as the father of the state, pay a visit to the assembly members, apologize to them, and urge them that they should join him to also apologize to the state, because take it or leave it, they've caused the state embarrassment by their political actions. So they need to apologize to the people of the state for this embarrassment and, promise to work together in the interest of Rivers State and Nigeria, and also make sure that this peace we are seeing today is a peace that will be sustained, and we don't want any political tension that will lead to an unfortunate situation of declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State again.
And how fragile is this peace in your view? I mean, you talk about them being one family before now, but we've seen the council elections, we've seen the APC, for instance, perform magic, win almost everything in Rivers State. How fragile is this peace going forward?
Well, I don't see it as a fragile peace, to be frank, because from information we gathered, the governor looked at it and said, no, there is time for us to, allow peace to reign. And the FCT minister and the assembly members also say, no, we want peace too. And they met without the president's intervention or convening a peace meeting. They on their own met, discussed, and visited the president to brief him that we've agreed for peace to reign. So I don't see it that it's a fragile one. I just hope that they will not renege in whatever they've discussed to ensure that there's peace.
How concerned are you that it could backfire like it did some 8 months ago?
No, he has realized his mistake. I believe the governor.
What about the State Assembly?
No, they too. They too, and that's why everybody, governance suffered in these 6 months. And the people want to see that as representative back to power. So they will be asking them for, development at the grassroots level. So the assembly members, the governors, the governor, we all want them to come back. We all want them to work together. And we believe that this peace that has come to stay, nothing will distort it.
And talk to me about the politics of the conversation, because we understand that Governor Siminalayi Fubara has been approached, or is being approached, by the APC in Rivers State. We already know that his former boss and FCT minister is working for the APC in 2027, working for Bola Ahmed Tinubu's re-election. What do you think? Is Rivers on the brink of falling into the hands of the APC, because they've already made significant inroads in the South-South region with Akwa Ibom, with Delta? What are the chances that Rivers is next for the APC? Well,
I want to, in line with my party, that advise the governor to remain in PDP.
Is he safe? Is he safe in PDP?
No, he's safe. Was he, when he won the election, was he in APC? He won on the platform of PDP. And you take it or leave it. Rivers State is a blue-blooded PDP state. Take it or leave it.
But the music has changed, hasn't it?
No, you will see it. 2027, you see what will happen.
I mean, is it not fair to say Wike still runs Rivers State?
No, he's a politician.
Right.
He's playing his politics.
So it's safe to say then the music has changed. And doesn't it make sense that if the music changes, that Fubara's dance politically also should change?
No. We don't know, as I speak today, if he's still a PDP member. And I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, that he will want Rivers State to go to APC. To the best of my knowledge, it's a PDP state. If you go today to Rivers State, you will see that Rivers people, all they sing is Rivers PDP.
Is it still a PDP state?
Yes.
I mean, you have majority state assembly APC. You have majority.
No, the assembly members are majority PDP.
How so?
From the Supreme Court judgment, from everything we've seen now, they are PDP members. They've not come up to say, after that back and forth of the case we saw, they've not come up to say today, because they denounced that they decamped. So that means they remain PDP. Majority of the assembly members are PDP members.
Or is it PDAPC? Because we remember them waving the flags, singing on your mandate.
But the same people said they did not decamp. So who am I to say they decamp when they themselves say they did not decamp, and they have come to tell the whole world that they did not decamp, that the action they took, that flying of flag does not mean that they decamp, and as we speak today that they are PDP members and they participate in PDP activities. I cannot say they are APC members. But they have not withdrawn their membership.
Let's use deductive reasoning then.
Yeah.
We know how loyal they are to the FCT minister.
Yes.
We know where his political allegiance lie, especially when it's about the presidency in 2027.
Yes.
So isn't it a safe assumption to make that they might be PDP on paper, but in reality they're working for the party with light blue, white and red?
Now let me tell you something. When the FCT minister supported the president, didn't he support the PDP governorship candidate?
Because he was his candidate.
He was his candidate.
Right.
So how do you know that come 2027 or by 2026, the person that will emerge as a PDP candidate will not be his person? So let's get to that bridge, we'll cross it.
All right. So talk to me about what we are hearing from the grapevine, that a deal has been signed, an agreement has been reached, and there's a very likelihood that Governor Siminalayi Fubara may not seek re-election in 2027. What do you think about the possibility of that being true?
I say it is the governor's this thing is in the governor's hand. If the governor wishes to contest, fine, he has a political family. If maybe by reason of his action in the past 1 year or so, he has his godfather or the leader of the party has lost confidence in him, he has about 2 years to rebuild that confidence in him, to say, okay, I will support you. But despite that, as a Nigerian citizen, he has the right to contest.
Knowing what you know about Nyesom Wike, I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, because of the coverage,
yes.
a lot of people who have fallen out with him.
Yes.
I've never seen most people reconcile with him and things going back to normal, knowing what you know about him.
They will not come to the media to say that now. There are a lot of people. You want me to give you one or two?
Go ahead.
What about the former deputy speaker of the House of Reps, Chibudon Wuche? He fell out with him. Today is with him. I can mention even the former senator from Rivers Southeast or so, fell out with him. So let me say this, in fact. If the governor is able to perform and also be able to secure the confidence of our leader, his father, political father, who knows? He can say, okay, I'll support you again. Because power, you see what FUBRA did with the trust the FCT minister have in him. What about somebody that you have not tried with that level of power? The FCT minister too will slip over it. You are saying that FUBRA, if you were to you'll be obedient. Some people though that even the FCT minister, he will not be able to come into Rivers State. There to be some of the people that were hovering around.
Do you think Wike can still take a chance on FUBRA?
It depends on what FUBRA will do between now and 2027.
Has it not been decided already? Because that is our understanding of why things are going back to normal.
You see, politics is if you are able to win the confidence of your leader and also the supporters. Because leaving it, you are saying the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. So by the time you take it to FUBRA and give it to somebody and this person now asks you not to step into Rivers State using his powers as a governor, that is political tension will come up. You understand? So that's why I say it's left for FUBRA to use this period to build the confidence of the FCT minister in him. To say, well, I was misguided, I was wrongly advised, but I realized it just like the prodigal son in the Bible. So I'm here, I'm working, since we are working together in the interest of the state and with you, my leader. And that is it. The FCT minister might look at it, okay, I'll give you my support. Let's go ahead. So we don't know. It depends on the governor.
Mr. Tonya Cole had a lot to say about this one. He said, the FUBRA that is coming back to the Rivers State government house is a different man who has lost his political steez, man who has lost his upper hand, man who has probably also lost public respect because of how things turned around. What do you think about comments like that?
What is political upper hand? The question you need to ask people.
I mean, he was a man of authority. Until
it's a statement.
March 18.
Yes, the thing is that the governor, when did he join politics? When did Chief Toyinko join politics? That is the first question we should ask ourselves. So the political steam of the governor is built on something and not himself. He has a political family. Among the family members, they look at him and said, oh, let's try him. So there is no political steam that they are talking about. He has a family, and that is a political steam. So looking at that, now saying you want to, and that is a kind of talk that misled the governor. You understand? The governor is not a politician. He's a technocrat. He recently, in 2022 or so, 2021, he began to play around with the politicians and stuff like that. So the foundation of it is the FCT minister. And that's why when people talk, we said, see, he has a family. He has realized his mistake and he has gone back to his family. It depends on the family to say, oh, we are forgiving you. You've come back, we'll work with you and campaign for him. You saw how people sacrificed their life. I was campaigning for him.
So, is it my understanding that unofficially, the FCT minister is now he was the kingmaker in 2023, but is now still the de facto kingmaker in Rivers State? Because it does look like everything has to pass through him.
No, I will prefer to use the word, he still remains a political leader.
What is the difference?
No, there is difference.
What? Okay, but what about the ethnic tensions? Because when the announcement was made, we've seen the Ijaw people rally around. We've seen a lot of rhetoric around identity politics in Rivers State,
Yes.
about their son being taken out of position of power, being targeted and things like that. Do you think those fault lines have been addressed? And what concerns you the most about it being exploited? Not just after the return of Governor Fubara, but in 2027?
No, you see, I even had the opportunity to advise one or two persons that they shouldn't make this thing look as if it's an Ijaw thing against maybe query or so in Rivers State. I advise one or two persons the danger of it, and it's not a good thing, you know, because it will promote division in the state. But having said that, yes, it took that tone. But if you also listen recently, the INC also made a statement that not minding the issue around the suspension of the governor, that we are one family. Rivers State has always remained one family. So we will not at this point allow this present political situation to divide us. We have remained one family. Political party has been coming to Rivers State from MPN to UPN and to SDP, NRC, and to date. So we will not allow that. Some people, that was what I was telling you about, some people felt they can use that to, crisis merchant, to make some money, and they will always play that Ijaw, this. They were there. Some of these people were against the governor. They were Ijaw people, and it's also an Ijaw man. They were against him. Some of them were even saying that it wasn't Ijaw enough to have been given, to use Ijaw slots to go there. So there are lots of things like that. And we reminded some of them when they came up with that rhetoric that no. You were campaigning against him when people like us sacrifice our lives to campaign for him. So today, why are you making that noise? If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Say it. But the truth remains that you were there against your Ijaw brother, and a non-Ijaw man supported him to become governor. They have issues. Instead of you to come and say, okay, come, my brother, let's look at this issue and address it, you start playing ethnic, whipping ethnic sentiment. It's not welcome. So I know that thing by the coming back of the governor, and that's why I'm saying that both the assembly members and the governor need to apologize to the people of the state, to say that no, for the embarrassment we caused you, we are sorry about this, and we'll make sure that we promote unity and peace, and also ensure that development get to the doorstep of the people at the grassroots. So that is the thing. Nobody will want to exploit it at this point again, because it will not profit them anything.
Right. And talk to me about what has happened with the council polls, because for the most part, it is one of those contentious issues that led to the decision by the president to declare a state of emergency. Now, Rivers State stands out across the entire federation as the only state with a PDP governor and a majority APC council chairman, or with the ruling party at the top, but the opposition party governing majority of the local councils. How do you see this dynamic working in the weeks and months to come?
Well, you see, I must tell you that as a PDP member, I'm not happy that APC has done what they've never done in the history of Rivers State. I'm not happy that they were able to, whatever means, were able to got up to 20 local government, in Rivers State. But having said that, even under the PDP governor, remember, we call it Gongongong Party in Rivers State, ACC or so, won the local, AAC won the local government election.
Supported by the governor.
Supported by the governor. Same thing happened in Abia. Labour Party, but one other party won the local government election. It happens. It's interest. It's interest. So, in as much as I feel that PDP shouldn't have lost the local government election, I'm feeling bad that my party lost the local government election in majority of the local government, but that does not mean that the governor is not a PDP person.
Would you be surprised if they later come to the PDP after everything is said and done? The council chairman, the 20 on the APC platform.
We'll be happy to have them. Right. We'll be happy. Yes.
I guess the ends justifies the means then.
No, we'll be happy to have them because Rivers State is a PDP state, for crying out loud.
You're saying that like it's a birthright, like it's like it's a natural thing.
Let them use, you see, I tell people, see, take card reader. Use electronic transmission result. Go and conduct Rivers election, Rivers State, and see the result outcome. You see how PDP will flush every other party out.
Well, they didn't do that in 2023.
In 2023, they used the card reader. PDP still won.
But not at the presidential level.
No, I'm telling you, okay, at the presidential level, that is the first time we are doing that is happening. And we know why it's happening. Or it happened. It's the first time. PDP has always, in fact, Rivers State has given PDP the highest vote since 1999 to 2019. It was in 2019 and 2023 that Rivers State did not give PDP the highest vote. And in 2023, rather, in 2023, PDP lost the election, in a presidential election.
The man that we've been talking about for the most part of the conversation tonight, apart from the governor, is the FCT minister.
Yes.
What do you think about this new dynamic of the local councils being in the hands, majority of them, 20 out of 23, being APC? And how does this, again, back to the question, how does this affect the dynamic in terms of its working relationship with the governor, who is PDP, and the state assembly that is PDAPC, however you want to describe it? Do you think it could be another fight waiting to happen somewhere down the line?
I don't think it will be another fight waiting to happen. Politics is all about interest. They'll just like the Scramble for Africa, they went to the table and share Africa. They'll go to the table and discuss these issues. Because if the governor is PDP, and when they meet, they'll be interacting and know what happened. And at the end, don't be surprised, those people come back to the party. Because that is the only sustainable party in this country. That is the only party that people believe in.
And obviously, one of the factional spokesperson of the APC in Rivers State, Darlington Nwauju, has disowned some of the people who were adjudged winners of the council elections in Rivers State on the platform of the APC, saying, listen, they are not registered members of our party. Could this be a precursor for some sort of reunion that brings everybody back under the umbrella of the PDP led by Nelson Wike?
I think so, because I don't know if they are registered members of the party, because I'm not a member of APC. As we speak today, I still remember a PDP member, so I can't tell. But I think if there is a reason, if he's pushing them away, well, we are happy to welcome them to the party, because they know that Rivers State is PDP.
What about the incursion of the ADC? And I have to ask you this, because it is fast becoming the obvious political alternative away from the APC and the PDP. And you have one of those persons that has shaped modern politics in Rivers State leading the charge in your state, the former minister and former governor of the state, Rotimi Amechi. How concerned are you? I mean, I know you're going to dismiss for the most part of it, but one thing we cannot argue is the political currency of Rotimi Amechi. What do you think as far as a political threat is concerned?
I want to ask, what political currency His Excellency Rotimi Amechi have in Rivers State? His first election in Rivers State in 1999, he lost it to Uchag Okoko. It was through court. Odili brought him to the assembly. Which election has Amechi won without the support of people like Wike and some other persons? See, let me tell you, people don't understand Rivers State. Amechi, when it comes to Rivers State today, it's funny. He doesn't have political currency. Why didn't he deliver the may so rest in peace, our former president? He couldn't give him 25% in Rivers State. Go and check the records. He doesn't have political currency. If you are talking about people that have political currency, you shouldn't mention His Excellency Rotimi Amechi. Yes, he's a former governor. Yes, he's a former minister. But he doesn't have that political currency. You occupy position before. People can today make you governor of your state. Does that mean you have political currency when you are not able to create that political currency for yourself or align to get that? You know. We know how he got there. He doesn't have that political currency to have become a threat to PDP. No. I will even sleep. I will even sleep and wake up and in my sleep beat him.
Okay. I mean, halfway after asking the question, I questioned myself, why did I even ask you that question? Because I can already imagine your response to that particular question. But
that is the truth. You know, people just look at big names.
Right.
That is the issue we are even having sometimes in my party. Big names, remove that big names. Right. Go to the grassroots.
Right. One thing we're not going to do is to completely dismiss what he has achieved as a politician and how he's been rated by even the incumbent president, Abdullahi Ahmed Tinubu. But of course, that is
his position. That is what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, that's all the time. Yeah, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. And we wanted to keep the conversation just on the aftermath of the state of emergency.
Yes.
But Honorable Daibokiabo Warmate, thank you so much for stopping by this evening.
It's
I appreciate you very much for stopping by, as always.
Yeah.
And of course, that is a wrap on tonight's edition of the program. Daily Politics returns tomorrow, live and exclusive on Trust TV. Until next time, I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.